a fantastic subject tonight. So thank you very much for coming. This is called Reclaim Your Power, Freedom and Love, and healing from narcissistic relationships, or after a relationship ends, or after, some of it is as well, your partner could have left, your partner could have passed away, partner, spouse, anything else like that. So this, it's just helping you, just what have you left behind? What do you need to bring back? Who is taking your power as well? You're reclaiming your power, freedom and love. It was just power and freedom, but we are such beautiful souls. We leave all of these little droplets of, or little sprinkles of our love, our people pleasers, the empaths. We just have such big hearts that people just want to, use us and take us for their advantage. We end up in relationships, one-sided relationships. We could end up with, abusive relationships, toxic ones. And it could be, it's not just your personal one, your loved one. It could be your career. It could be friendships. This just goes far and wide. This, when you've let your power and freedom and your love, go, and then you move on, or either you move on or somebody leaves you so that you have to move on. You're left behind. So then what happens is there's lots of old beliefs come up. See, I don't deserve it. See, here it goes again. It's just what is your talk, your negative talk that actually keeps coming up in and repeating. What comes into your self-fulfilling prophecy as well. When you get moving and getting along in life, after something has happened, that's when different things come back up to, see, I told you. So there we go again. So it's just, what is the story? Finding out what is the story that you keep repeating, and patterns, behaviors, habits, definitions. So Kerry's worked with me before, Cheryl, on quite a few different things. But my history is mother wound, mother-daughter relationship was not there. And so that started, and once you have a mother wound or, other beliefs from childhood, then it depends what, how the trauma affects you. But a lot of times that follows you. And so you will then attract different people that remind you of the personality that from childhood. So it's being able to find, what actually, mine is everywhere I went. I was always bullied, career, different, a few friendships have happened as well. But it's being able to, what else is there? Those types of things. And then when I was really badly bullied at work, and it wasn't just once, because I cannot handle conflict. I'm just going. So I was the peacemaker. I was the pleaser. And after I've got into all of this work, and I've already left the Queensland Health, that, and I got a really a lovely redundancy. But it was until I left there, I didn't realise how it had affected all the way up. And when I was looking at my timeline, I was the one who was the common denominator. All the different bosses, there was different workplaces, but I was the one who copped it all the time, because nobody protected me as a child. And so I was, part of me was just like turning up and being the protector of everybody. And then I'd be left in the middle, and I could handle myself, but then everybody else would drift away, and I'm left there, and I'm just going, why the hell is this happening? And then when I was checking it all back, that's what was a lot of related stuff from childhood. All that trauma was actually following me. I was trying to run away from it, or not realizing it was there, but that was actually constantly coming up. So I left for the Navy when I was 18, left a small country town, left for the Navy, and met my husband a couple of years later. We're still married after 40 years. How awesome is that? But it, it wasn't easy, and when I left, and part of me was always wanting that mother-daughter relationship. What else can I do? And the other part of me was like, I don't want anything to do with you. So it was almost like a split within. And then I attracted a mother-in-law who also was a narcissist. So I'm just going, oh my God. And it just, all the things that I've learnt, and then helping my own self. And that was when other people were going, whatever you're doing, can you help me? So that's how I ended up going into the healing side of stuff. And wrote, self-published a book on Heal, how to overcome bullying, burnout, abuse and neglect. And now this is where I am. And you're just helping people, what is underneath that is, that is constant. I say attract, but you're the target. What do you have that somebody else is sort of like taking from you? There's a part of you that gives it over, and then people connect with you, and then they keep taking. But you can't get back. You can't, you haven't got the power, you haven't got the confidence to pull yourself back and support yourself, or just say, no, this doesn't happen. So this course, I've just run it once before, and it was just absolutely fantastic. But since then, there's other different ways of it, how it's going to also help other people. In the narcissistic one, the last one that I just did, when we were because the ladies there all had mother wounds, and then when they actually tracked it all the way back, they were attracting partners who are like the mother. Without realizing it, you just go, oh, okay. They were there for a lesson, and the person didn't know how to deal with it. And then, as we're working throughout the course, it ended up, so where are we narcissistic? Because what you learn, you take it on, and then you become it. And so when we were understanding how we become it, that's when you can say, you choose, no, that's not for me, that leaves. And I will take this confidence, and I will have such and such. And then you practice that, and then you're going off in a different path. So it works out really absolutely fantastic. But this, as I said, it could be work related. It could be, to do with your children. It could be to do with friendships. It could be to do with work. But it's whenever we're doing any of the courses, it's actually helping you go in and, find what's underneath there. What's behind the scene? What's behind your mask or your facade, so to speak? And like I said, most people are the empaths, the people pleasers, and the peacekeepers. And it's being able to, that's got you into a lot of trouble. It's, people want to keep you. It's like as if, they put you in a little cage, and I'm just going to milk you for everything that I can. You end up not having a voice. You can't speak up. You can't speak out. Then you get guilted as well to stay in the relationship, or you get shamed as well. Or the other part is it must be your fault. So people sling it back to you, and because you're such a pleaser, oh my God, I've got to work it out. I've got to, so there's just this almost like you're caught in a bird cage. So it's throughout the course, it's being able to help you, where is my part in all of this, and do I want to keep it? Because we always have a choice. You want to keep it that way, or would you like to change it? And how can I change it? How to change it is to become aware of it. How is it affecting me? What is it giving me? What is it not giving me? What am I missing out on? What is it costing me? You know, it's just being able to, but if you're, once you're in a circle group, you can really, you know, because most of us, you don't like going in. Most of us are, you know, no, it's all about you. I need to help you. I'll go last, as people pleasers do, and mothers or females, you know, I feed everybody else first and I'll have the scraps. And it's just learning how can I give back to myself? How can I bring into myself here? So what does, you know, just let me know, how does this, any questions so far?
Does it matter if I cry?
Oh, yeah. Get the Get the tissues.
I've done that before. Don't worry about it.
Yeah.
Sorry?
I've cried before on different things.
I can imagine.
Yeah. You know, and it's just such a truth. And when you can really be honest and really release the guilt, the shame, the emotions, anything else like that, it's almost like takes a little weight off. A lot of times, Kerry can vouch for that, you're really tired afterwards, you know, because it's just so exhausting holding on to it. And then when you let it out, it's almost like you could sleep for a week. You're just so tired because you've held it in, you've held onto it, and now it's time to, this is not mine. And it prepares you for new energy coming, or it prepares you for your next phase or your next stage. So please, let emotions flow. You know, that's the more that you can actually do it, it lifts it off your heart. Your heart gets lighter. Everything gets lighter. And think about the light coming in. You're in the darkness, you're hiding, you know, and the more light that you can bring in and shine it onto that dark, you know, the better off it is. So yeah, so what happens for you, Cheryl? Like, yes, off you go, you can cry.
It's a pretty long story, really. I was sort of, like, my mum left us when I was 9, and she died when I was 14. And for those 5 years, I really hated her. Because my dad would take us to try and find her and see her and that, and she would always change where she lived and didn't want to see us and everything. So we only sort of, I think, saw her twice in that time. So I grew up thinking that my mum didn't love me. And I, you know, when I got older, I thought, well, if my mum doesn't love me, who can? You know, my own mother. And then when I was about 30, I started going to meditation and getting into the spiritual side. And I thought I'd repair a lot of that. But then now, just recently, my daughter's had my first grandchild. Her first child, my first grandchild. And suddenly she doesn't want anything to do with me. I didn't see that there was anything wrong. It was just, you know, we didn't see each other much over COVID. And then when we could see each other, then suddenly, well, to me it was suddenly, she's obviously been thinking about this, but suddenly she didn't want to have me in her life. And I had terrible trouble trying to deal with it. And then I keep trying to tell myself it's ego, you know, don't let your ego get in the way. It's, you know, and Spirit have tried to send me every sign under the sun that it's time to move on. It's her way of thinking. It's not what I've done. Things like that, and I just.
It's exhausting. Yeah, it's exhausting. Yeah. This is, you'll understand when, if you follow the astrology and stuff like that, there's a big thing called Saturn coming up, which is a lot of karmic energy. You know, anything that you put on in the past on hold, that's coming up now to take that, and this is what you need to go forward. You need to clear quite a few different things first, you know, and that's all it is just be aware of it, acknowledge it. What do I need to do here? Is this true now? You know, these beliefs keep following us. It's almost like a bad smell on you. And it keeps coming up. Even if you can just go, oh, well, I'm an onion. What's the next layer going to show? You know, and people say, you know, oh my God, you know, I've gone through this so many times. And I'm going, you know, does it, you know, it didn't work the last time. I said, you're an onion. You don't know how many layers there are to you, but it's just keep going. You know, just work this out, clear this out. Universe, you know, soul gives you a confirmation. You know, as soon as you finish that layer or finish whatever it is, learn what you need to do, the universe always opens the door and welcomes you in. Come on in. You know, you've done this. Come on in or come on up. This is the next level. You know, it's, and even always, if you can just think, what are they here for? What is it teaching me? Try it. Your kids are always, you know, they're challenging, but they are the ones here that need to, you know, you need to get to know what they are there to teach you. I've got 9 grandkids, so I can tell you.
Yeah, busy.
But the more that I'm working on myself, you know, and, you know, it has, like I said, it's not been an easy ride, you know, with marriage, with children, with so many other different things happening. But it's like, just keep going. The universe rewards you. Get up, show up, do what you need to do. And, you know, when you work that out, whatever it is, Cheryl, then, you know, whatever this is, you know, that's coming up that you think it is about your daughter, it could be reverse cycle of, you know, old stuff coming up about your mum and you. It's just a mirror, and you go, oh, okay, so just ask what it is. And like I said, it will work it out. The relationship either gets better or the relationship gone. But you've done everything in your power that on a soul level that you needed to do, you know, and you've cleared it all out, you know, changed. And you've always, you know, it's not just, I treat it like addictions, you know, that you cannot just clear it out and cut it off. Your mind has been actively doing that for such a long time that if you do that, it's going to come back and it'll double the torture on you. So you must replace it with something else. You know, it's like, okay, we're going to take that habit out, we put a new habit in. We're going to take that belief out, we're going to put this new one in. And it's a sneaky way of doing it, but eventually, because your mind knows that it's the ego is in charge, over time it's gone, oh, I'm liking this. I didn't think I liked that before, but I like this way of being. So it's just a sneaky way of doing it. And then it's just continuous, you know, daily repetition, because it's, you know, how long have you been in that old way of being? It's just learning to, you know, doing a different way as you go through. You know, and even having a look, what did you leave behind? You know, what did you leave behind? You know, a lot of people haven't got the confidence. They've lost their self-esteem. They've lost their voice. You know, they've lost their power. You know, and they just feel the freedom to choose, the freedom to say, hey, I'm not doing this anymore, the freedom to walk away, the freedom to be, you know, to be included. It's a big thing. And when you lose that freedom, you know, that's when you are stuck. You're caught, you're anchored. And it's being able to find where it is and be able to pull that back. Learn what you had to learn, you know, and have a look at the growth after you leave a relationship, a workplace, a friendship. What did you learn? Because you've always got, that's a completion thing. You know, what did I learn out of that? I lost a lot of money, But it's like, when you have a look at what advice do you give to other people, that's the growth that you've had. The advice that you give to other people is that you're helping somebody else. Don't go through the stuff that I went through. This is what I learned. But we don't realize that advice is gold for us. So what advice do you give to other people that you're not actually taking yourself? And it's like a triangle. So your adult self here, your inner child is way back here, or, you know, go to another relationship back there. And it's like, oh, when I was there with him, you know, I learnt this, that, and you tell a friend or somebody, like, if you're going to get into a relationship, you know, look, this is what you look for, this is what you need to. But you've learnt that you won't trust that person, that type of person, or, you know, and you're going to have a look at, you become a sacred observer, you know, and learning as you're going through the courses that I teach, you become the sacred observer, and you actually have a look at, you know, you're having a look at what you were, who you were, what age you were when something happened, and then, you know, broke up, things happened, and then you move on, but there's a part of you that's still back there. And it's being able to go back in time, and then, you know, what did you, you know, as the adult self, your adult self, what power would you give, and what communication would you give to your younger self? You know, and like I said, it's just observing and sacred observing, but you're connecting to the spirit of you back then. And you're saying, I'm really proud of you. You did what you could do. So your experience in your wise self is actually going back, and you're, you know, helping that part of you to, oh, okay, otherwise it's still sitting there, I didn't do it right. And how many other times didn't you do it right? And when you collect them all together, you're still not doing it right. But when you're going back in your timeline, you go, you know, your wise self is actually saying, this is, you've done really good, I'm so proud of you. And then and now you're, I'm going to be here for you. And this is what we're going to be doing from now on. This is where we're going to take you. So it's just collecting it, bringing it back, you know, and almost like putting yourself back together again. And I'll have this and I'll have that. Sometimes, you know, before relationships, that's another one. Before the relationship, what were you like? You know, a lot of times you're confident, you're this, you know, you get together with somebody, whether, again, like it's friendship or relationship or work, and you were confident, you were outgoing, you know, you have a look at all of those sorts of things. And then little by little, once you get connected with, you know, art relationship, I'll say any relationship, and then little by little, you know, it goes, you're the doormat and the other person is up here. Or, you know, have a look at work, that you're nothing. So it's being able to even go back before you started or before you began something, and what is there that's locked away. It's all energy. Everything is energy. So you can go back and you go, oh wow, oh my God, I was just really, an imagination and visualization is just amazing to overthrow the ego. The ego is, oh, it was like this, it was like that. And when we're doing the imagination and visualization, you can go before, Kerry, you go before you met your husband. What were you like? You know, and it's like, oh my God. And you just have a great time. You go, oh my gosh, yeah, I used to do this, I used to go there. And, you know, you were outgoing, you were free, you were funny, you were spontaneous, whatever it is. And you just name all the stuff. But you take yourself into it in the meditations. And then what would I like to bring forth? Because you're the one, when you're going into it, it's part of you has actually closed it down. You go back into, oh, this is where I belong. And then, you know, part of it closes it down because I don't want to waste it or I don't want to use it. So it's still there. So you can go back and you can actually, I want some of that. Like, I'll have this, this, and this. And it's being able to bring that forward as well. So there's lots of, you know, reclaiming your power, your freedom, and your love. The biggest one is your love, you know. We give from an empty cup, you know, and it's being able to go back and actually have a look at all the people who did not respect your love or respect, honor, you know, give back, you know, on a soul level, energetic level. Whatever you give out, you must receive back, you know, on a universal level. So, you know, how many times on an ego level in the relationships you gave out because you're a people pleaser or an empath, and people are going, oh, this is really good, I'll have some more and I'll have some more. And so it gets one-sided, and then eventually that's a big pot of gold over there and you're the pauper here. So it's being able to, you know, again, sacred observer, see how it's happened. the other part with empaths and people pleasers, and the peacekeepers, is you don't like conflict. So you will, okay, radio, it's all good. You know, so there's no flare-ups or there's, oh my God, I've got to be the right thing. When in actual fact, if we step back and allow them to do whatever they needed to do, our body would go, I'm not staying here. You know, but because of our, it's, you know, just the energy is taken over us, that's what we must do. We must please, we've got to keep him quiet, you know, and keep everybody together. That's a thing that, you know, is going to bite you on the bum later on. When you look back at different relationships, you go, wow, if I had the intuition in the first place, if I had the confidence in the first place, I wouldn't have gone that far. I wouldn't have stayed that long. But, you know, hindsight's a really good thing after you've left. So it's, but it's, you know, it's just being able to, you know, just, again, it's just collecting how it, when you're in any of the sessions, it's like a big web. You know, your big, beautiful web of life actually comes up, and you see how it's all interconnected, and then how somebody else comes in and then starts stealing some of your stuff away. But they're all still stuck in your web, and you're, you know, and you're on a soul level, you're all still stuck. So it's being able to go back and actually finish it. No, this is what I learnt. Disconnect yourself, cut the cords, and send them with love, because on a soul level, it's the highest honor that you actually get to say thank you for the, you never say it to their face, but you say it on a soul and to their heart. Thank you so very much for, you know, teaching me this. And now it's time to let you go. And when I let you go, then I'm set free. But like I said, on a soul level, it's the highest honor to be able to do that. And so you just move them out, you shift them out of your thing. And as you do that, again, it lightens up, you know, and that allows different people or experiences, opportunities then to come in. Because we've just kept going on life. As soon as you stop and you have a look and you're starting to do all the work, the inner work, that's what's actually happening with it all. I always give a bad rap to people pleasers because we interfere. We want to do the best for other people. We take the pain for them. We'll take the hits for them. But they're not learning any lessons. And what we're doing is we are in somebody else's lane. We are in their pain, when in actual fact we should have been, you know, what can I do? You know, and you know, wait to be asked. But we don't want them in pain because we don't like that. So it's being able to, I've only just recently learnt this. I'm going, you know, the people pleaser, the empath stuff, you have to support everybody else into their goals. You have to feed them all. You have to do all these sorts of things before you can get ahead in life, or you can get your goals, or you can get such and such. One of my mentors actually challenged me and said, but what is the benefit of being an empath? I'm going, well, there's nothing. It's just nothing at all. You know, they just come and take over. You know, it's a free ride. It's this, it's that. And I was having a big rant. And anyway, when I looked at it, it was like, you have such really good intuition. You're very creative. You're very helpful. You're very compassionate. You can feel their pain, and that people feel safe. People feel, you know, really supported by you. You know, that you are so attuned into your environment that you can pick up energy. You know, you walk into a room, you go, oh, better walk out. This is really not good. Or, you know, don't get on that bus going. And next minute that bus has a crash or something. So the intuition is really good. What's another one here? You know, the feelings deeply, meaningful relationships, and you really need alone time to fill up. And I thought, oh wow, these are really, really good. And so when I was having a look at it, I'm going, well, actually, I was so into the pleasing and giving and egoic side of it So there's two sides. So there's, there's the positive or the negative side, the light side or the dark side of any personality. So of the empaths, I ended up going egoic. I was giving away. I was angry that they didn't value. They weren't respecting my time. They weren't, they didn't care about my worth. There was no boundaries. No meant, yeah, she'll give it another go. The healthy relationships ended up, really toxic. And actually, I didn't value it. Like I said, I don't like it. I don't like it because I was given the empath, but I wasn't taught how to use my powers, because it's a very powerful thing. I wasn't taught how to use it, properly. I didn't respect my own time. I wasn't valuing my gifts. My creative side, I was actually giving it away. The worth that I had was nothing. There was no boundaries. I was just 24/7. I was a milk bar 24/7. I was like, oh my God. And the healthy relationships, not being able to say no or not meaning no. So in the classes, then that's what I'm teaching now as well. So, this is a very, very powerful energy to have, is the empathic energy. And it's being able to, so how can I now put boundaries around it? How can I respect myself? How can I value? So it all comes back to me. And it's just been amazing. And now I've got time for my creative stuff. And if somebody else is coming in, I'm going, no, not just yet. This is my time. Whereas before that, I'll just put that at a minute. I'll run over there. And so again, I was not looking after this gift, this amazing gift that I had. So it's just understanding all of those sorts of things and being able to go back in, have time, have a safe space to go back in. Oh, this is what I need. This, but the other part is being able to practice in a sacred space. Practice what you do, speaking out. Saying what you want to say, crying, doing the tears, doing the emotions, whatever you need, as you go into all of, and anything, because you're getting to know you. You are everything to everybody else, but, have you really known you? And like Carrie, Carrie did my Fawn to Fearless last year, I think it was, and there was quite a few revelations. And revelations, the revelations that come up, and you go, oh, wow. I've just been, so focused on doing this, I forgot how that is actually affected. When you stop and you go, have a breath, and then again, sacred observer, you go back and you go, oh my God, look what I lost, or look what I did, or look what I hadn't finished yet. So it's being able to go back in, finishing it. But, what do I need to do then and there? What do I need to let go of? And how did that work for you, Carrie?
Oh, once I realised it made such a difference, I was able to speak up for myself. And I had an interesting the other day talk to Mum. We were talking about different things, and we started talking about my ex-husband. Because Mum never liked him from the start, because she saw how cruel he was. He was real cruel to the animals and that. And she says, do you remember me telling you not to marry him? I said, no. And then she brought up about my injuries, and she says, your first injuries was because of Greg pulling you along the floor. Now, I don't remember that. But because Dad had paid for me to get some physio done, and yeah, they didn't like him right from the start because they could see the cruel part. And I never really thought about him being a narcissist until the other day. I thought, okay, I'm going to have to look into this deeply, go back through it, because I've always said that he was, just horrible man and used to hit me once in a while on different things, but I never looked into it as him being a narcissist.
Yeah.
Because I was basing it on that's why I never put him in the same category.
Yeah. But see, we justify, because our heart just really wants that person. And it overruns, overrules, your head over heels, whatever it is. It doesn't need to, there's no more punishment of your own self. But it's but it's like, oh wow, wasn't I smitten? Wasn't I, really, for whatever reason it is, but it's being able to forgive yourself, being able to go back in, what was it, and you might even come up with the old beliefs. I'm not enough. Who's going to love me? Who's going to, you just never know what it is. But as soon as you understand what it is, that's when you can actually, this doesn't stay. And you take all of it, energetically, you remove all of that. What would you like? We don't leave it void, okay? We'd never leave it void because the ego's been feeding off it, and it doesn't want anybody else to know. And this, for your mum, after all these years, for this time to just mention that, she's probably said it several times, and you're not listening. It's just closed off. I don't want to hear, But now you've been doing a lot of healing. It's actually, oh my God, It's again, you're an onion. Welcome, onion.
Thank you.
I'm a big fat. I must be a big fat onion because I'm still going to.
Anyways.
Yeah.
But yeah, it was a surprise.
Yeah.
Because I knew she never liked him, but I didn't remember her telling me to leave him because they saw what he was like.
Yeah.
I suppose I defended him.
And hid it.
Yeah.
Hid it. That sort of stuff. It's as long as you're aware of it and, and bring it up to the surface and see it for what it is. You did what you had to do back then, and a lot of, and that's the end of the story. So how can I now change that for that beautiful one? She doesn't have to do that anymore, and whatever else you want to, your wise future self wants to say to her so that she can put it to bed. Again, then you complete it. What did she learn? Without that, who are you today? Because you would have learned a lot of stuff. How strong you are with your daughter and how this and how that. And a lot of times we are so headstrong in ourselves, and so harsh with ourselves. And it's just being, oh, wow, yeah, without realizing, because you're in survival mode. You're either, you're looking for a reward, you're looking for a recognition, or just to survive for whatever reason. And then when you go, oh, wow, that's what I've been doing, I choose not to do that anymore. And protection and love and whatever else it is. Freedom. Again, come back to freedom. Freedom to go and punch him in the head.
I did it once.
Yeah.
That's when I realised it was time for me to leave. Marriage guidance had warned me that I'd get to the stage that I'd fight back, and I never thought about it. And it was just tapping me on the leg at a friend's place, and I snapped. I punched him in the face. I'm not a violent person.
Yeah.
But
you snapped.
I got to the stage where marriage guidance warned me, so that's when I decided it was time to leave.
Yeah.
Because I had snapped.
Yeah. Yeah. Cheryl, you get to, what would I really like to do to him? Imagination, and you finish it then and there, and then you let it go. You don't, again, it's not physical. You don't do it. You don't do it in person. It's just, this is in your ego. This is in your mind. It's got all these little memory screens everywhere, and you have to go and dissolve them, because that's still showing up. And it's like, oh, you're still there. Okay, you're dissolved. You're gone. Replace it with such and such, and then that part there then continues up, all the way up until you are now. So it doesn't have a hiccup. So it's almost like an anchor or a rubber band, like a bungee cord. You think you're getting over here, and then all of a sudden you go, you know, oh my God, here we go again. It's like, I need to break it. I need to, you know, cut that out. Again, it's replacing it, you know, one for one. Take this out, put that back in. Yeah. But it's just being able to, you know, doing the wise, knowledgeable person that you are, that, you know, being able to go back and be able to change it back then. That's the biggest part that actually changes it all. But the other part is, you know, finding the gold in, you know, what we don't like about ourselves, but finding the gold. And so you have both parts. Hey, Kerry, you are a violent person. You're a violent person when you want to be. You are a gentle person, and most of the time you are. But it's almost like something snapped and it says, get out of here. So, you know, or you could have, you know, most of them, they don't take that warning. Oh, okay, I shouldn't have done that. I'll never do that, you know, and make a promise to yourself, I'll never do that again. And that'll be the end of you. So it's being able to honor that part that actually snapped and did the punch, you know, and say, and you even give yourself permission. Anything like that ever happens again, I give myself permission to stand up for myself, you know, and be able to, you know, bring it out that way as you want to go. But it's, you know, where, you know, finding what you've lost, what it's through, you know, who's your biggest person that you're having arguments with, you know, a relationship, finding what the old beliefs are, you know, and then being able to get into new habits because, you know, something's happened, then it formed a habit, a bad behavior, then into a pattern and a recurring pattern. And it's being able to then, you know, here you are here, then we just got to undo it all the way back and then replace it and then walk a different way. It's almost like having a stroke, and then I've got to learn how to, you know, do whatever it is again, energetically. We're not doing strokes. We don't have strokes in ours, Cheryl. So, no, so anyway, that's what we are doing. So on the 13th of July, we're going to start it. That'll be, that's 8 weeks of this Reclaim Your Power, Freedom and Love. On the 13th of June, which is next Monday, I'm doing a 4-week, you know, working up to it. So you get to identify, you know, your power. You get to play different types of things. We get to play intuitive, you know, finding your intuition and calling your intuition back. Circle work is another one. Circles is being able to, you know, this is who I used to be. This is who I want to become. You know, what's it like in here? You know, and it's just getting to, oh, okay. And then it's getting you to write down or feel what's it like when you're in this reality. You know, my ex-husband's reality. Oh my God, that's it. And then you're just writing it down, you're feeling it, and you're getting the body into it. And then this is my intuitive self, or my, you know, your genius self, or whatever you want to call yourself. We were doing the intuitive queen circles in the last one. And what would it be like if you were in here? And so it's a bridge. So this is where you were. This is where you want to be. So then we have all of these little action steps, you know, to step you up into where you need to be. But it's helping the body. The body's going, oh my God, I feels really safe, and I'm feeling really confident. Oh wow, you know, I can say what I want to say, or oh, that's what I want, I'm going for it. You know, and when you're doing the empath stuff, then you know that you're bringing your bring the power back in, and really honoring your own talent, or your own power, or your you know, the power that you have within that empath stuff. It's almost like, you know, use it for the good instead of, but it's using for the good of you. You know, it's almost like, you know, a wand or some sort of a power. If we use it for the good of ourself, but then for the good of other people as well, completely different way of being in your life that you will be. You know, and possibly your, when you start doing it, Cheryl, it's like a ripple, you know, when things actually start and change in here, then it just starts rippling out. You change because you've removed it, you've replaced it, and then it's almost like, you could almost like say it's a transplant. You know, it's almost like that. And then, you know, like heart transplants, you know, it's almost dead, and then you get a transplant, and next minute you're moving. It's a different way of being. So it's similar to that. But like I said, then other people notice you. Other people are just going, oh my God, can you believe that? The people, the ones who should not be with you, are not on the right vibration with you. They actually start drifting away. They can't. If you can think about, you're the host and other people are ticks, you know, or siphon, you know, and they just, or leeches even, and they just want you for whatever it is. It's almost like it's sealed up there, and people are just going, oh, I just can't get in anymore. But what it does is then it's allowing you to be that, you know, that strong, that because you do have to have a strength, an inner strength, a loving, supportive inner strength to hold this. But then you're going to attract like-minded or like vibration ones to come in, and you connect. One doesn't siphon, but you connect, and then you collaborate. It's almost like you become a little village, and you just, and that's where you're starting to move into as you go through. What else is there? Your intuition, your practice, you know, finding practices and meditations and things like that in some of these. That's just playing for the 4 weeks as we go up, and then we'll start on the 13th of July. I love all these 13s because the 13 is the divine feminine, you know, and it's being able to really allow your feminine side, you know, the masculine and feminine side, to really, the feminine is the nurturing, the feminine is the gift giving energy as well, and then that also then connects with the masculine. The masculine has to come in and tell me, you don't give that away again. These people don't respect that. They are not the right ones to give your power, you know, to use your wand on. These are the ones over here. So that it comes back into the yin yang energy within yourself. So is there any questions about that so far?
I'll just say to Cheryl, Bernie is really good. I've enjoyed doing her courses and the different things. It's really helped me a lot.
Yeah.
It got me started.
Yeah.
Oh, good. Yeah.
Absolutely. Yeah.
I was drawn to her originally. Yes.
Yeah. So so anyway, the 4 weeks, like I said, start on Monday night, and that's where we get to play. And then the 8 weeks is on the 13th of July. So that's a Wednesday, one's a Monday, and then the next one is a Wednesday. And it's 90 minutes each one, and it'll be 7 p.m. still, because I have to keep it that way for the moon meditations, because the moon meditations, a lot of times it is on the Monday and the Wednesdays. I'm just going, oh God, I have to honor that, you know, and that'll be part of as we're going through as well, because connecting to the power of the feminine, connecting to the, you know, to the solar and the sun, and when you're into all of that, it's almost like you have such celestial support. And when you're actually reading all of the planets as they're coming through, you go, oh my God, okay, we got to focus on this. Like, pull your energy in, we focus on this. Okay, we focus on this and we change it, and then, you know, and then it's almost like playing a computer game. You know, get in there, get in this. And then you're getting all the joy and anything else like that you need. And then you have a bit of a buzz, and then the universe again confirms with you, okay, so this is what yours, and then something else will come up. The new moon is all about manifesting, and before we manifest, then we've got to clean out, you know, we've got to make it ready for the nest or make it ready for the seeds, you know, whether you want to, you know, do land or you want to do nests. So we're always clearing out. The full moon is all about forgiveness, you know, emptying out the full emotions, and that's why it's the full moon. But it's emptying out, you know, and really when you're doing, you know, full of emotions, it's being able to bring up all the things that you haven't been able to let go, or forgiveness. You know, again, on a soul level, I forgive myself, but I forgive the other person. I forgive myself several times because I didn't get the lesson. I had to go around 4 or 5 times, or I didn't, you know, I wasn't aware of it. A lot of times when we're too busy, when we're not in our power, that's when we get taken a ride for. So it's being able to every 2 weeks every 4 weeks on the full moon, it's just being able to honor, okay, yeah, I see what happened the last month, this is what needs to go, you know, and whatever planets or retrogrades have been in there as well, it's being able to empty that energy out as well as you go through. So yeah, so anyway, that's what we'll be doing. I'll send you some information about these two. Yeah, so but like I said, the 4-week one is a lot of fun getting used to, you know, as we're going through, but when we go to the 8-week one on the 13th of July, that's a separate one. This is just fun thing going up, you get to know who I am, but on the 13th, that's when we get really started into, you know, what do you want, where do you want to go. So how does that sound for you two?
Sounds good.
Sounds good.
Yeah. I'm looking forward to it, you know, just, you know, what are we looking for? Being able to, you know, what have you missed out on? The biggest thing is, you know, we're always looking to somebody else. We're always asking somebody else or hoping that somebody else is going to do it. Whereas if you can really be knowing, you know, be of service, you know, what is your purpose? What is your true nature? And being able to, you know, really concentrate and hone in on those, and then be able to, at the end, it's almost like a gift. You go, oh my gosh, I'm here to do such and such. I'm here to do whatever it is. And I didn't realize that was my nature. As this mentor challenged me, she said, well, what if your purpose was the empath? You know, I'm going, no, it's not. But since then I'm just going, oh, okay, well, yeah, because it is an empathic nature. People feel safe, people feel open, you know, they can actually, it's almost like confessing. These are all the secrets, these are all the things that I've had, these are all the things that I've actually, you know, I've never told anybody else before. That's what I usually get. I've never told anything like this before. I don't know why I'm telling you this, but that's the empathic power. And I'm just going, you know, now I'm just going, wow, I've had it for such a long time, but I have, it's like the good witch and the bad witch. I've been using my powers. I've been using my powers.
Oh my gosh.
For such a long time.
I had a witch friend, I nearly freaked out. I thought, oh, I hope she doesn't do a spell on me.
So that's it, everybody. Thank you so very much for being here tonight. I look forward to catching up with you, whether it's on the 13th of June for the 4-week little mini course, or whether it is on the 13th of July for the 8 weeks course. I'm Bernie Giggins, Soul Freedom Coach from Inner Child Harmony Coaching, and I look forward to catching up with you very soon on Reclaim Your Power, Freedom and Love after our relationship ends. Take care. Bye for now.